Hello, I'm Aolani Whitebear, and I will be presenting on the use of red teaming as a strategy against credit card fraud. One of the most common examples of fraud, at least in the United States, is credit card fraud. There are six common types: card not present, identity theft, skimming, phishing, account takeover, and lost or stolen credit cards. Credit card fraud is the use of credit card information from someone else, typically to make purchases or payments, but sometimes to claim aspects of false identities. As of 2021, it was estimated that approximately 1,740 attempts of fraudulent credit card use are made each month against U.S. retailers. Billions of dollars are lost a year due to credit card fraud, and as time goes by, the number is found to be increasing, numbers tripling from the year 2017 up until 2021. The digitization of commerce and banking has increased the risk of fraud and attacks as they move further away from needing to access a physical card or system to collect a person's sensitive financial information. An individual has some aspects of control to help mitigate their risk for attacks. For example, being knowledgeable of ways to detect phishing scams, being cautious or avoidant of public Wi Fi, avoiding shopping on insecure sites, and other things of that sort. However, as the access to information becomes more available online, the roles of those in cybersecurity to defend against cybercrime need to be addressed and taken seriously by banks and their partners to better protect the information and finances of their clientele. Digital finance applications and online banking services need to actively work to note their vulnerabilities and improve their defenses. Red teaming is a potential solution to aid in the detection and prevention process of credit card fraud. Red teaming is the implementation of a team to search for the vulnerabilities of the company's cybersecurity team and their security systems in order to work towards improvements. In layman's terms, the red team is attacking a system, almost acting as malicious users, to assess for weaknesses as the blue team defends the system. Finding these weaknesses can provide insight on where a system needs to be strengthened and where security should be focused, acting as a tool to moderate prevention of attacks and an understanding of the best locations to aid in detection. Regarding issues with credit card fraud, the intended resolve would be strengthening cybersecurity techniques through red teaming. Pictured here is a sample metric demonstrating the differences in credit card fraud reports after implementation of red teaming. This sample could also be seen visualized comparing the amount of money lost from fraudulent activities before and after red team interventions. Dantas and their colleagues discussed the current system of machine learning that is in place to detect credit card fraud. A plethora of research has been done in this regard, and it is continued to be studied. This article performs a literature review about performance metrics and databases analyzed through machine learning techniques. The main difference between this and red teaming is the aspect of detection as opposed to prevention. Using these databases allows for researchers to develop a better understanding of cybercrime in order to notice when fraudulent activity is occurring and stop it from proceeding and/or having detrimental effects. The use of red teaming helps to find faults in the systems to learn how to best defend against cyber attacks before they are able to happen. Straussinia and Prochenwit suggest the use of a new data augmentation tool to analyze the difference between fraudulent and lawful activity on credit cards. Their research works to show different classifications of performance to determine better detectors of fraud, specifically reviewing. Similar to the Dantas' team, this research focused on that of detection. Though this is relevant and important research to do, it addresses the issue of noticing when an attack is happening. Red teaming would help credit card companies and their partners to fortify their sites through which transactions are or can occur. Chicada provides a different approach to cybersecurity enhancements by discussing the use of biometric authentication at banks as a tool to reduce credit card fraud. This was found to have an effective result, however, the practicality was questioned. Implementing this tool through various banks would be expensive and increase the price of transactions. It does not address the continued digital applications of commerce. Customers and clientele may also be opposed to the idea of providing their bank with data and their biometric information. Red teaming wouldn't reflect in the cost of transactions for the merchants, nor does it require the use of personal data outside of what is already typically asked for by these sites. General ideas for what you would do when you're trying to build a red team. First, you're going to want to identify the correct personnel and operationalize skills, and then align the red team activities with the overall business goals. It is helpful to make a threat model to visualize the needs of the company. One is provided in this slide specifically. Next, you're going to choose the right tools and make the best environment setup decisions. It's important to be reasonable and realistic about what your team would need and use and where they would use it. Then you will execute the first red team exercise, followed by you're going to position your red team for scalability, enabling adjustments for the size of different departments, sites, and the different sizes of the teams themselves. Furthermore, an enhancement can be made to the red team's exercises with breach and attack simulations. Currently, in defense against credit card fraud attacks, machine learning detection is a tool being used, as I've said previously. Though effective, detection is not foolproof and does not do anything to protect or enhance the site itself that is being attacked, or it does very little. Red teaming helps a company discover its vulnerabilities to help strengthen the site in defense against attacks being had. Then a company can work to reduce the vulnerabilities as represented by the first figure. This reduction of vulnerabilities fortifies the site so there are less areas where a malicious user can infiltrate. With that, they cannot attack the site, so these tools decrease the ability to perform fraudulent activity, which in turn decreases the number of credit card fraud reports occurring and money lost. In this work, it is proposed that red teaming is a more efficient cybersecurity measure against credit card fraud attacks than the current measures. This proposal is not a suggestion to eliminate these current measures, but rather offer more alternatives and ideas on how to better ensure the safety of sensitive information when consumers are indulging in digital transactions. Research and application of implementation strategies should continue to ensure the quality of this intervention. It is important to acknowledge the cost of training and maintenance and to assess what teams are needed and what is needed for those teams on an individual level per company. Future work will include the addition of more modeling techniques, analysis of real-life applications and cost, and a more refined measure of model accuracy. Some deeper analysis of implementing a purple team as a working part to mediate and assess the jobs of red and blue teams has been introduced in some organizations and is worth further researching. Lastly, we have my references. Thank you.